Everybody, welcome to the Tech Disruptors podcast. Few technical issues there, not sure what's going on. We got shut down twice there, but that's okay. It must be Apple. Apple are just watching the podcast going, go on, say something. We dare you.
I swear it's when you disrupt tech, they just like, we don't want them on.
Honestly, that's the first time that's ever happened. Really bizarre. And you know what's funny? As we're going to air, I'm designing the t-shirt. And is it a coincidence? So let me just pull up on screen. This was Jason and I were just talking about this before we went on there. So here is we were talking about this for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
We've been designing our I guess go-to wearable t-shirt thingy, whatever you want to call it. And I was just designing this as we got on there. And then sure enough, we couldn't go live with our title track. Now, I don't know what happened there. Not sure what's going on, but they do not like us using the title track today, but that's okay. I don't think it's a copyright thing. I think it was just a StreamYard thing, deciding not to
restream. But yes.
Restream. Oh, sorry. You know what? That's all the same thing.
Well, you know, the funny about that shirt, we're possibly going to release this so people can buy it. And the next time, which happens to everybody who listens to our podcast, when you're in an argument with somebody about phones, you instead of saying anything, you can just point at your shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it wins for anything. You get in an argument with your wife, you just point at your shirt.
Yeah, exactly. This is what happens. Yeah.
You don't like me? Well, if it ain't Apple, it ain't shit. I'm not Apple, so.
Well, look, I mean, we'll put it out there. I think everybody is currently watching us live, or at least I hope everybody is watching us live. I don't know if we're actually going to air here. But
I got a notification on YouTube that it started, so that's a good sign.
Okay, that's a good sign. Well, anyway, technical difficulties aside, welcome to the Tech Disruptors podcast. My name is Darren. This is Jason. I can never, because on your screen, I don't know where the fuck I am. I'm on the other side.
Yeah, you're over here for me. I'm probably. Yeah.
Anyway, directions are difficult.
Now, if I could reach my hand and go into your room, that would be amazing.
We're going to high five. Hang on. High five. Hang on. I gotta go.
We should do some magic.
I know. Magic, right? Speaking of magic, the MWC Mobile World Conference.
What's that?
Wrapped up. I don't know, some crazy tech thing, lots of weird phones. And
that's in Mexico?
Yeah, close enough. I think it's like Germany or France or something. Who knows?
Well, we all know it's in Spain.
It's in Spain, yes. Barcelona, beautiful Barcelona. All of these tech people going out to Barcelona for MWC. They forgot
Tech disruptors were not invited this year. Maybe next year.
Not invited. We were going to throw a party like it was 1989. And unfortunately, we were unable to do so. But that doesn't stop us from discussing all of the amazing things that came out of MWC. So for those of you who are maybe unfamiliar, it is a massive tech showcase, if you will. Kind of like a world fair of all the latest and greatest tech.
Might I say it's better than CES this year?
I would say so too. I was thinking that, like,
more
CES
exciting stuff.
A bit disappointing, but this was kind of interesting because it wasn't just, somebody mentioned on, it might've been Instagram or something like that. I was one of the social media accounts that they were a little upset that it's a bit too much focus on phones
at MWC.
Really, yes. And, it has the term mobile in the title. So, you kind of expect that. But I think largely speaking, it's interesting to see MWC because if you are someone that's interested in tech and you're somebody that is passionate about new technology and the things that are coming down the pipeline for 2024, really interesting place to start. So
obviously most of us use a mobile device, and a lot of new technologies, especially AI, are starting to pop up in the mobile space. So it makes sense to be there, I guess.
And what's surprisingly so, there wasn't too much AI stuff. I feel like CES was a bit more AI based. This seemed a bit more like refining design and proof of concept kind of stuff.
there was a couple AI devices that maybe we'll get to today.
Yeah.
Both that I backed and both that I backed out of. And you know the one, but you don't know the other. And the one I'm upset because I want to try it. And then the other one, I'm still glad I didn't back it or I got my money back. But.
Right. Okay. So we'll talk about those. Well, let's start with AI. So at MWC, AI was a little bit of a focus, but something that we've talked about previously on the show is the Humane AI pin, which was one of the things I believe you backed. Forgive me if I got that right.
Yes, I did back it. It looks killer. I mean, it's a badass looking device to me.
So here is my impression of so the AI pin, we talked about this previously on the show. So essentially, how do we describe it? How do we describe the AI pin?
Well, they describe it as a very, very, very mini portable phone.
Yes.
Only without a screen. It uses laser projectors that I can't show you a screen, and it actually projects the screen, which I thought if you watch that terrible event they had where they looked like robots, they only showed like music and he was twisting his hand, but like at MWC they were like scrolling through text and reading articles. It looked like, I mean, who the hell's going to do that? But it's a nice option. I think it's more like a mini phone without a screen.
Yes,
so that's the way I get from it. But
well, so I'll just kind of show this video. This might help us.
No, it's just not the same way.
On a few wish lists this year, and maybe your name is already down on the wait list for the AI pin made by Humane. No ordinary sleep or fitness tracker. This AI wearable wants to replace your phone. They want you to talk instead of type. They want you to remain present instead of swipe. And there's been so much hype around these former Apple employees, Bethany Bongiorno and Imran Chowdhury, and what they've made, that we wanted to get, well, a reality check on actually using it.
Translate into Japanese. Where is the best sushi local to here?
What the?
Capture this.
The husband and wife team hope that the AI pin will be in consumers' hands early.
So, a couple things.
Yes.
I had pre-ordered it and backed out because I didn't see much. And after reviewing the live event, I didn't like it. Second, it's been delayed by 2 weeks or more. Now they're giving you 3 months of service, which is $24 a month. And initially I was like, $24 a month. Who cares? But I started thinking, do I need another number? Do I need another phone service?
Yes.
And then if you notice, that was different. Some of the videos I saw where they were actually at MWC, they would tap on it and say something, and then there'd be like a cut. Like the video was cut and it went to the answer, and I'm like, that's still too sus for me. I'm like, there's something not right. Now, you can still pre-order up to March 31st to get that 3 months for free. I don't know if there's a wait list, so I may jump back on the bandwagon. I probably won't, but maybe Humane, if you're listening, toss us a couple. Let us try them out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think you and I were both in the same boat about the Humane AI pin. It sounds like a great idea. But from what I understand, I mean, reading, I had up this article from The Verge talking about how it looked pretty impressive. But fundamentally in here, they're not sure if this is the kind of product that's really going to take off. And I think that and I understand it's a proof of concept. I understand it's a new device, in the field, in the space, I guess. I don't know. What's it replacing?
I want to say that I think it's trying to push people to more. There's another AI device. We'll talk about it a little bit. I'll just mention it, the T-Mobile AI phone concept that has no apps.
Yes.
Very similar to this. They're trying to push people away from your typical phone experience where if you just tap and talk, there's no need. And it has this like audio capability where it kind of surrounds your head. But also when you do need a screen, you can stare at, like, you get a message. You don't have to have it read out loud. You can just stick your hand out. But the other thing is, well, we may not, like, I'm on the fence about it, but it doesn't mean it's not going to do well. This might be the future. We don't know until people get it in their hands, start messing with it. But the other question I was thinking, like, she's like, oh, what's the best Chinese food in town? Well, if you live in the middle of nowhere like me, there's one restaurant, and how often, what I need an Uber. We don't even have Uber. Well, we do, but it's terrible. So how often am I actually going to use this?
Well, and I guess that sort of brings me, I think when I think about MWC, I always try to kind of put it in the context of, so if this is the new tech that's coming out, how is it going to better my life? How is it going to change the way that I currently do things? I'm going to be honest with you, the Humane AI pin, something that I wear on my clothes doesn't really appeal to me. I think
it pulls your shirt down. If you have a jacket, but I don't wear a jacket year round. There's all kinds of things you got to think about. Because I'm in law enforcement. I wear a body cam from time to time. Yeah. And we sometimes have to attach it to our shirt, and it pulls the shirt down, so it looks stupid as hell. But I don't care because I'm wearing it for work. This, I don't know. I just don't know yet.
I feel like the AI, like tap to speak and project on the hand stuff, I don't think it's ready. I am even with the Rabbit R1, which we talked about previously, which is another AI device coming out very, very soon. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if that's going to work the way that they show it on their release videos.
Rabbit at least was more believable.
Yes,
but instead of doing this, just bring back Squeeze for Google Assistant.
Oh my God! Remember the good old days? Squeeze and off you go. Yeah, I mean, Google's been pretty good at bringing stuff back. Like, I don't know if you noticed, they brought back Photosphere on,
but Google only for certain phones. Probably just the 8 series.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's an interesting concept. I mean, again, I'm not one who would have invested in this. It's way too expensive, I think, for what it is.
I jumped out. We'll see how it does. If it does better, I'm sure it'll still be available. You can pick it up later.
Exactly.
Let it work some kinks out. But the other AI device that I backed, I don't know if I didn't mention not the T-Mobile thing.
I'll pull up a picture for you.
The Ray Neo X2 and the X2 Lite. I'm not sure which one it was. I can't remember now which one I backed, but it was on. You paid like $50. Yeah, you paid $50 and you get it for like $5.99. I think they're $6.49, and you can back it. Now it's. But I read a few initial reviews and it was terrible. And then I saw some people wearing it. It looks ridiculous. I mean, Google Glass was ridiculous, but Google Glass was actually, for me, with the kind of glasses I wear, it was above my eye line, so I just had to look up. This is actually in the frame. I don't know. I think it's kind of I don't think it's.
I feel like they're enormous. First of all, they look good. That you literally would look like Buddy Holly if you wear those.
Well, and you can't just use any prescription those either because of the actual screen's in the glass. So
now here's the thing, right? And this is where it kind of gets interesting. Is this what Apple had envisaged with the Vision Pro?
This is what I think they want to do.
Yes.
This is not good. I think everyone's rushing to market now because Apple
did it.
And speaking of that, I just saw Samsung announce their new their new headset here.
Yes.
I don't know if it's an NWC, but anyways, this is what I want. I want a pair of glasses that has a inconspicuous little screen. Yeah. I don't care about all this translation stuff. I just want notifications, being able to take pictures and video, kind of like the Meta smart spectacles, but with a little screen in it too.
I almost wonder if Meta's going to pull it off first.
They have the resources and the experience.
The Ray-Ban connection is huge because that's all of the production line is ready to go. They just have to develop the tech. And I think that's really what's going to be the winner in this race for AI glasses, right? Is that who's got the resources to make this happen?
Apple, Google, and Meta definitely are the biggest companies with the resources.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that TCL. I think TCL is behind Ray Neo.
Yeah.
They have tons of money, but I mean, one of the things I saw was this is pre-production software, but they have an AI assistant that's like an anime character.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the hell? Now they're saying it's going to change to the U.S. market, but I'm not into it enough to back something at this level. If it was Google doing this, I jump on it. Even if they don't last very long, it's going to be at least somewhat ironed out.
Yes.
And then the Vision Pro is just too much. It's too big and it's not inconspicuous enough for me.
I honestly believe in my heart of hearts that the Vision Pro is going to end up in the Apple graveyard.
No, I think every generation. I mean, I don't know if maybe in its current iteration, but they're gonna do something like this because Apple just backed out of the car
Yeah,
market.
I saw that.
So with the extra $1.5 billion they're going to save from doing that, they definitely have more resources to this.
I think I read they spent $18 billion.
That's
trying to develop.
That's like a $30 bill for one of us. You know,
I know, and understandably so. I mean, I don't know. It just seems weird to me. I mean, look, I understand the appeal of having, you know, AR and AI based kind of stuff, but the stuff that caught, you know, one of the things that was interesting at MWC is this year it seemed like there was a bit of a push for a little bit more lifestyle based products. And what I mean by that is like stuff that actually will be beneficial to your lifestyle, right? And I'll give you an example. So you and I've talked about Punked before, but let me just show you. This is the MCO2.
Is this on the lines of the Minimal phone too?
Yes, exactly. Correct.
Okay. This looks much nicer.
The premise of the MCO2 is a very simple phone that looks like a smartphone, essentially, right? Using their own apostrophe OS, which I believe is kind of like an e-ink kind of deal.
Is this an e-ink screen?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Looks like it. So it doesn't say much about it. Is there any release date?
It doesn't say much about it, no. But so the MCO2...
Well, you saw the Minimal phone too, right?
I did, yeah.
Did you watch the video on that?
I did.
Honestly, it looks like someone took a 3D printer and stuck a screen in it.
Yeah, so I mean, that I had a look.
That's $300 though. I mean, US.
Yeah.
That Punk phone's going to be $800, so...
I think it's $699, the Punked one. Hang on, let's have a look.
How do you know? Is there a release date?
Ooh. $749 US.
I told you. It's probably got a Snapdragon 7 Gen 1 and a 32 megapixel camera on the back.
Yeah.
Weird stuff.
I don't know.
Is it available now?
It's pre-order, I believe, right now.
Now you got to even look it up.
I actually have the Punked MCO2 coming. I've worked with Punk before on...
Of course you do. Of course.
But I'm just curious to see what this is like, because I'll be honest with you, their first phone, which was called, and forgive me for forgetting, I think it's the MP02. This was their first phone. I'll just share the screen here.
This looks like a series or a real low series Motorola.
I'll tell you why this was one of the greatest in-hand feeling phones ever. So it was about the size of... You had
this one right here?
I did, yes.
Okay.
It was about the size of an iPhone SE. It has a curved back like the LG... What was the one we were talking about last week? The G3? Was it the curved back?
I think so, yeah.
And the outside is this gravelly-like texture, a bit like the old OnePlus sandstone.
Like a sandstone, yeah.
Now, by all regards, it was a dumb phone. It was literally like texting on a phone from the 90s. Very simple, very fast, very fluid, like OS. It had BlackBerry integration as well at one point, where it was like secured by BlackBerry's servers.
So really, what's interesting though is this new Punked is nothing like this.
No, exactly.
And it's not an e-ink screen; it's an IPS display.
Yes. So, well, here's the thing, and let me tell you where I think they're going. So, they had a prototype phone called the MC01, and I want to show you this because this is where I hope they end up.
So that's like the one we were talking about on Indiegogo.
Yes. So the MC01 was a prototype phone that almost came out from Punked, but didn't. For whatever reason, I think it might have been around COVID. Like it was originally they announced it in 2015. I think by the time they got going, COVID hit and, the pandemic, and it just kind of fell apart. But if they release a phone like that, if it eventually gets to that, I would be all in. That's
so you
the
like
kind
the physical
of phone.
Keyboard? You like the physical?
Just the concept of it being different and like an even screen and, it having a slightly different form factor. I think
so. Why wouldn't you? Well, you're getting this in for review probably. I'm saying so.
Yeah.
Not this one, but the MCO2.
Yeah.
So what about the minimal phone? I know we're talking about MWC and it wasn't at MWC, but that one's very similar to this. It's probably a little bit smaller. And it's an actual true e-ink display with a 16 meg. It's probably gonna have a potato camera in the back. But
yeah, I'll show you this.
For I think right now in the US you can get it for $325 and it comes with a free case. Now that doesn't actually look that bad in that render, but I don't know if that's the final or if that's just a render.
It's I listen, this is their website, so I'm assuming that's kind of what it's gonna look like.
Yeah, because right now the prototypes they showed off on Indiegogo were definitely like 3D printed cases that the screen wasn't that big, the bezels were a lot bigger, but that doesn't look half bad right there.
Well, and that's the thing. The problem with this particular device from this company is that they're trying to get backing right now on, I think it's Indiegogo.
Indiegogo.
They're only just at the halfway point.
I know, it's slow.
Which is a little bit concerning. Maybe I think people just don't like the form factor. Maybe they're just over the form factor.
So is this the future? Now, we went from AI, which is super... We know AI is the future. We know it's going to be a bit... For smartphone technology, is it more like, hey, let's get these AI devices like the Humane Pin and let's get this rabbit and then use these kind of, not dumb, but...
The brains and put them in the dumb phone?
And get one of these more, less staring at your phone kind of phone. I mean, I can see that. You get the rabbit or you get the... I hate saying the rabbit. I always think of something else. But, the rabbit or this AI pin and then just have this as your backup.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, and I said this a number of times. The movie Her, which you may remember.
That's a good movie.
So I think realistically, this is what people are looking for. And I'll just pull up a picture of the phone that he uses in the movie. If I can find a decent image. Hang on one second. So this is the phone that he's rocking in the movie. And I honestly feel like companies are in a race to develop this phone. I know that sounds crazy.
Well, it looks like a foldable, doesn't it?
It looks like a foldable device with an e-ink screen on the outside. And from the movie, if you remember the movie, the smarts of, say, like an AI product like Humane or Rabbit. So is this what they're trying to do? Is this the future they envisage, right? Now, I don't know about the one singular camera concept. I mean, unless it's a 2-inch sensor and you don't need anything else.
Variable aperture with a periscope behind that pops out when needed.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that will ever replace a camera, but I almost feel like all of these companies, like the Minimalist Company and Punked and all of that, I feel like this is where they're leading. And I'll show you their promotional video here. This is
for who?
This is the minimal phone.
Where every ping, every buzz, and every notification pulls us deeper into a digital vortex. We've lost something precious. Our peace, our time, our connections with the real world. Every glance at a glaring screen, every moment lost in the endless scroll, steals away the priceless moments of our lives. The laughter of a friend, the beauty of a sunset, the joy of real conversation, unseen, unheard, unfelt. We've become captives in a digital realm, prisoners of our own devices. Our sleep disturbed by blue light, our minds cluttered with
Listen, I'm just going to mute this a little bit. I love the irony of this ad. Here is a company saying, you're a piece of shit for using a smartphone. And then they're trying to sell you a phone. That's the irony of this whole thing there.
Well, no. It's more of a...
Sorry, can we just...
It doesn't have all the apps. It really doesn't. My fear is it's a new company. Like, Punked has been around for a little while, so you're assuming that phone, you pre-order, it's going to come out. This is Indiegogo. And I'm not trying to talk bad about any website, but if I had to choose between Kickstarter and Indiegogo, I'd definitely back something on Kickstarter before I do it Indiegogo.
Yeah.
Am I wrong about saying that?
Yeah, so I think no, 100%. Like I would Indiegogo would not be the place.
So before you go on, so the minimal phone right now, when they first launched on Indiegogo, it was $299. They sold out of all those. Now it's at $325, which still isn't bad, and you get a free case. But after shipping, at least in the US, it's $340. And when you look at the website and you look at the specs, I don't even know what the processor is, but I'm going to imagine with an e-ink display, you probably don't need a whole lot of horsepower. No. But I'd like to see what the just how it works. You know?
Yeah, like is it touchscreen? Because it doesn't really.
It is.
It is.
I think
Okay,
if you go to Indiegogo and look at some of their videos, I think it's a touchscreen.
Okay, I would hate to it not. If there was a, you know what would make me buy this? A scroll wheel. I would be all.
So have you ever seen the Playdate? The Playdate?
Yes.
It's got I have one. I love that thing, by the way.
Yeah.
They have a crank.
Yes.
That would be badass. Either a crank on the side, you pull it out and you can screw up the things and put it back and have the haptic feedback.
All for that. But again,
you know what? We're making shirts, right?
We are, yeah.
We need to make a dumb phone with a crank.
Yes.
I'm going to call Playdate. Say, look, we want your screen and crank, but we need someone's keyboard. And it has to run some version of Android.
100%, yeah. That's exactly right.
I'll call Tim Cook. We'll get Apple on it. Listen,
we can't talk about Apple, especially if we're going to release this T-shirt, which is, let's see if I think I've got it here still on the screen. Shit. No. Oh, there it is. There we go. If we're going to release this T-shirt, which I'm telling you right now will be the #1 best-selling T-shirt of all time, if you're following us on YouTube or on X, you might see a link in the next week or so to buy this. I would love for people to be wearing this T-shirt. And just for the record, has our Tech Disruptors logo on the back so you can support the channel. But again, I think we're talking about like the MWC, it's an interesting polarizing kind of journey through MWC. Because like we said, we have everything from the Humane AI pin to companies like Punkt who are trying to sell us on this minimalist future.
Yeah.
And, like I said, I think at the end of the day, what it really boils down to is this idea that what is it replacing in our lives, right? Like, what are they trying to give us? What are they trying to change about the way that we do things?
Well, in all reality, you talked about AI. We talked about this e-ink phone.
Yes.
I think what you should do is go ahead and go to Asus's website and order yourself the ROG 8. It's now available in North America.
Oh,
and if you want the one with the E display on the back, it's only like $1,500. I mean,
is that it? That's pretty good, actually. I'll tell you. So if we're going to talk about, let's go to the polar opposite. Let's go to the very end of the spectrum here. Let's go to shit that's crazy that came out of MWC, because we've already talked AI, but how about a transparent laptop?
No.
Now this is the Lenovo transparent laptop. It is a concept from Lenovo called Project Crystal.
Mm-hmm. 720p screen.
Yeah, currently not a real product, as it says here. But micro LED transparent screen looks pretty good to me.
Here's what I will say, and they mentioned, I watched a video on this, and everyone's saying it's a pretty cool concept, but Lenovo came out and said they wanted a couple things. They wanted to at least be 1080p, because again, you guys, this is a concept. It's not out. This is a proof of concept. It's just pushing the boundaries. But the other thing is, I don't know if you've seen this, like there's windows you can buy where you flick up a switch and it becomes opaque. Yes. So they want to be able to do that too. So when you're in a situation at a coffee shop and you want a little bit of privacy, you can flip a switch, it's opaque. Now that, I think I could get behind.
I like, yes.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Good idea, yeah. I honestly, to be honest with you, like I don't really like the transparent keyboard. I would prefer that to be a physical keyboard.
Tactile. Yeah, tactile. That's not going to be tactile. Yeah. I mean, even with haptics, I mean, you got your phone. You know how many times I've been typing on phones forever, I still get mistakes. But with a physical press, that's why you're looking at this Punkt phone. Well, not Punkt, but the phone with the keyboard at the bottom.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. I had a long time ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I had the Lenovo Yoga, I think it was called. And that was a laptop with a physical screen and a glass keyboard, I guess we call it. I had a lot of trouble typing on that thing. I just could not get the speed that I needed to, push through and get everything done. It was a beautiful device. It looked fantastic. It folded 360. You could fold it on itself like the Duo. Really cool concept. But couldn't get behind the glass, non-tactile.
Well, and their
feeling.
latest, I don't know if it's Lenovo, but their latest one is the same thing, but they actually had a plastic insert that had a physical keyboard, which I think is a good idea.
To be honest with you, I actually have that sitting in my cupboard right here. I have not had a chance to play with it yet. Review it, play with it.
I got a water bottle.
I'm like a toddler.
I got a water bottle.
Yes. What does that say on there? I can't see.
Pixel Superfan.
Nice. Pixel Superfan. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's definitely an interesting concept. I mean, I don't ever see Lenovo making this product. It's a cool idea, and I think it's a bit of a showstopper. If you
just
will,
an MWC in general, though, Lenovo and Motorola, they always push the boundaries and mobile and everything. And I don't know if we'll get to that, but
you want to talk about? Let's talk about Motorola while we're here, because I had it up on screen here, ready to go a few seconds ago. But so I'll tell you, it's
my new smartwatch.
Yeah, a funny story. So yesterday, I'm watching a video on this prototype phone. I'm just gonna hang on a second, see if I can get this going. So I'm just gonna put it on silent, but
there you go. Right there.
I was showing my wife this video yesterday, and her reaction was absolutely hilarious. Her reaction was, "This is fucking dumb. Who would actually wear this?" And that's a direct quote. It's a silly concept. Why would you want that on your wrist?
But they've been showing this off for the last couple years. And I think the only difference they really did this year was they had that. If you looked at the beginning of the video, it had like a metal strip in the back behind it, and then you put a magnetic thing around your wrist, and it snaps on, so it's a wearable. No one in their right mind is going to wear this as a watch. The first time you hit anything, you're done. But what Motorola is showing you is that their screen technology has advanced to the point where you can bend it any way. They've got I think it's cool to show concepts like this. Now, if you could bend it the other way around and have the protection around your arm, and then when you need a phone, you just take it off as a way to hold your phone, I think that'd be kind of cool. I still wouldn't buy one. And if I'm going to buy a foldable device, I'm not buying a Motorola. I know they're really pushing the boundaries, but they always seem a little behind with the specs.
Again, I don't even know why this exists. What is this? Why?
Let me guess. You have one of those coming in too? You have one?
No, I don't. No, but I just don't. I don't get it. I feel like Motorola and Lenovo showed up to MWC to say, "Look at the cool shit we can make that you'll never be able to buy."
But that's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, I suppose. I guess that is just them flexing, right?
Because this could lead into who knows what this could lead into. Any number of things,
I mean, if you've ever seen, there's a TV show on Amazon Prime. I think it's called The Terminal List, off the top of my head. So
yeah, I wanted to see. I didn't finish it. Yeah.
But I think it might have been Terminal List. In that TV show, they have this. It's set in the future, near future, but all of the characters wear, and I forget the company that made this, but it's looks like this that wraps around your wrist, and it was an actual smartphone. It had a screen that you typed. I think it might have been ZTE that had something like that. It was where it wrapped fully around your wrist. And anyway, so my point is that I almost feel like they're trying to develop something, maybe not like. So here is my thing. If you're going to make a device like this that wraps around your wrist, why wouldn't you make it mostly band and then a screen that you can access? That's too big. You don't want.
And it goes in some special mode once you wrap around your wrist. But you're right, it's too big.
Yeah.
Didn't Nubia do something like this for your wrist? But it was like
yes.
But it was terrible. It was slow. It was
Hang on, let me see.
And I almost got one of those too, but I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, that's correct. I've got it right here. Hang on. They did this crazy prototype looking thing.
It was cool. I actually thought it was really cool. It was slow. The OS was terrible, but it's a good concept that they would do. Do you remember the first Samsung? Not the Wear OS, but it was really big, had a camera on it.
Yes.
That thing was freaking amazing.
Yeah. And look, I mean, if it was more like this, where it was, a little smaller of a screen, maybe a bit more like a thick bracelet or band or whatever, it kind of reminds me of remember in the 90s where everyone used to wear leather cuffs?
Slap bracelets.
Snap bracelets. A snap bracelet phone. Now that shit would be amazing.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Especially in hot pink.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, put it to this way. If they could already bend the Motorola phone, they've got the technology to make that happen.
Right.
Right? You would have
so
a part
technically, can we say that Motorola wasn't first to the game with bending phones because Nubia did it way before?
No, then definitely not the first of the game. 100%.
No, I'm just saying, like, as a wrist concept, technically Nubia did it first. And Nubia, I mean, they did talk about their the ZTE Nubia's got a flip phone too. It just released at the same time.
Yes.
I don't remember what it's called now. And
it's called. I think it's called the Flip. Hang on, I have it here somewhere.
Very ingenious marketing there.
What is it called? It is called the Nubia Flip. That is correct. Yes. Well, you know what? While we're here, let's talk about it. So this is the Nubia Flip
5G, because it's one of the few that were introduced that actually has 5G.
So this is just a video here from Android Authority, but this is their version of a flipping device. I actually don't mind the design, if I'm being honest. Like, I kind of like
Dragon Gen. Well, and the design's decent. The specs are okay.
Yeah.
But I think it starts at $699.
Yeah. See, that's
not terrible.
No, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I actually think the Snapdragon 7 Gen 1 might be the perfect chip because it'll be awesome on battery.
Mm-hmm.
And the design-wise looks a lot like the Z Flip 5. You know what it looks like to me? It looks like they took a Z Flip 5 and just went, how do we make this cheap? Let's put a circular screen on the outside. Let's use a cheaper chipset. But that looks almost identical to the Z Flip 5. Or maybe, actually, sorry, no. The N3 Flip is what it reminds me of.
That's what you meant.
It looks a lot like the N3 Flip, minus the massive.
Ooh, I like that white.
Yeah, the white actually looks pretty nice.
Huh.
But I mean, that
I can't do. But I won't do flip phones without a bigger screen than that. I can't.
Yeah. I don't know. I almost, I think back. I almost feel like we had a missed opportunity with the Razr. I think the Razr, I wish it had been better. And I almost feel like if the Razr had been a little better with the camera, I think I might have been able to get on board and say, you know what, I'm going to use that.
Do you remember when the Razr first came out? It looked like the original Razr had a chin. And it was like, it's a chin. That's the whole point. It's supposed to look like
nostalgia.
And they kind of went away and kind of made it generic like every other device. Now, the Razr Plus has the screen that wraps around the lenses.
Yes.
They all look the same to me. They really do.
Yeah.
And these new companies like what was it? Doogee and Energizer. Energizer made a flip phone. And they look so cheap. And I think, is it Mr. Matt, Two Phone, Captain Two Phones.
Captain Two Phones,
Mr. Mobile. He
Mobile,
actually, I think it was the Doogee, or there was a brand he was looking at, and they actually took it off the floor because it kept having trouble. Like, it was so cheap, it was breaking.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, look, that happens. I get it. I mean, you're a lot of people touching all this shit, and it's, of course, there's going to be,
that in combination of rushing to the market.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly right. Now, one company that has been killing it as of late is a company you may have heard of called OnePlus.
I don't know who that is.
And speaking of things that you wear on your wrist, the OnePlus Watch 2. So I know you've ordered it, Jason,
yes.
The OnePlus Watch 2. Now, OnePlus Watch, the first OnePlus Watch I never owned, but I remember reading about the horror story that it was. Kind of like tech, what do we call this? A lesson in tech by OnePlus, making it terrible.
They failed miserably, but what I always tell people that I work with is that everyone makes mistakes, but it's how you learn from those mistakes that makes you the better person or better company. And this company, from what it sounds like, they've definitely learned their lesson.
Yeah. And look, they're coming out of the market hot. The OnePlus 12 is being rated up there next to the S24 Ultra.
Mm-hmm.
The OnePlus Open was received very well last year.
The OnePlus Pad I'm looking at right now is an amazing tablet.
Yeah.
The Buds,
The Buds have quickly become a lot of people's favorite earbuds, which is surprising to me.
Yeah.
And now here they come out with this 47 millimeter, I believe it is, watch.
I want to say it's 47 millimeter. The screen's 46.
Yeah, and we were talking about this last week with a sapphire screen at what, $399?
$299 here.
$299. Sorry, $299.
Well,
that's impressive.
And the design, everyone's raving about design. To me, it looks like a regular watch. But what I do like is, so I have the 6 Classic Samsung right here. Yes. And I had the Pixel Watch, and I had to actually go into settings and have them reverse the buttons to have the buttons on the inside. So when I work out, I don't bump the buttons. But this is interesting. On the side, the buttons are angled top and bottom, so you don't have to do that. And I really like that they've done that. This has got a dual OS operating system, like 2 operating systems. It's got their, what do they call it? ROIS or whatever. Basically, a real basic battery efficient OS that stays dormant when needed and it pops up. It's got Wear OS 4.0 with Google Assistant, which is a big thing. And I was reading somewhere that Android actually opened the door for this dual OS thing by opening some kind of software trickery.
Yes, to bring it to life. Yes, I read that too.
And even the charging, I prefer Pogo pins because you know damn well when that Pogo pin's connected, it's going to charge.
Yes. So I don't know. I mean, look, I think it's a very interesting proposition. And I almost wonder if, has OnePlus managed to do it? Have they made a Wear OS watch that people will actually want to wear?
No.
I don't know, man.
Here's why I say that. Yes. In concept, this is the perfect watch to wear.
Yes.
But no one knows about OnePlus. No one cares except for us tech people. That's what I'm saying. If they got behind their marketing and got their phones, at least their phones in the door, then they sell well, companies more likely to start. If they don't have an LTE version of this, the crown doesn't spin. And it spins, but it doesn't do anything. But besides those 2 quirks, I mean, I think it was MKBHD. It did a battery test, and it outlasted the Ultra 2, which has a bigger battery.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, I almost feel like they've even beaten Samsung to the game on this one. Like, it looks like, and I mean,
shots fired.
So I'll say this much. Let's look at like the value proposition.
Yeah.
It's cheaper than the Watch 6 and that line that just came out. Feature-wise, it doesn't seem to be limited to just Samsung. Like, you know how like with their Samsung watches,
the Watch 6 isn't either, but I had the Classic connected to my Pixel phone for a while and the Flip, but there's some like snore detection that you can't do. There's certain things that you can't do without a Samsung device. You're right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like this is a good option for the Android space, and I think maybe the better option on like in regards to like wearing something that accompanies your smartwatch and your smartphone.
So, and I ordered this with the green band, the same one there.
Yep.
Because it matched the OnePlus 12 that I had. I'm not bringing anything up. I'm just saying that's the reason why I ordered that color. So
yes,
the pad here, like I'm saying,
is that beautiful green? Yeah.
Yes. And then I actually have the Buds Pro that were in green, but I also have the recent 3s, but they came in blue. They didn't have a green color. So what's interesting, OnePlus is slowly coming back up, still keeping it competitive, and making a really compelling ecosystem. And the OnePlus 12 and the OnePlus Pad worked very well together.
Yes.
I still wish, I mean, I know it's not your fault. I still wish I had that in my hand.
Yes.
Because I'd love to try it out. I think that's a great way to compare Samsung. And I don't care about Apple anymore because they probably are a little bit more ahead when it comes to ecosystem just because everything's more seamless. But the fact that Samsung and OnePlus are so close.
Yes.
And could now when they work with Windows and everything, I think that they have a compelling package that could even outdo the iPhone and the Apple ecosystem.
I think you're right. I think I would rate the OnePlus ecosystem currently right up there next to Google's. Like,
yeah, because they're both in their infancy, technically.
Yeah, and I mean, like value-wise, like a lot of people are saying that the OnePlus 12 is a better buy than the Pixel, even though the Pixel 8 won MWC Phone of the Year.
I was just going to say that. I said, there's one thing that OnePlus doesn't have, MWC Phone of the Year. But I'm still going to tell you, I think the OnePlus 12 was a great device. Software, camera, still has to go to Pixel.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they've come a long way, OnePlus, and I think, I think one more generation and they might have it. Like, I think the OnePlus 13, if they go for a 13, it's unlucky in some places.
You know what you just sounded like? A really cranky sports fan.
Yes.
And let me give you an example.
One more year.
Yeah, I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, and anybody knows, Cleveland Browns are like the worst team in the NFL every year. I mean, they've been doing better, but it's always like, oh, we'll get them next year. You know, that's what they always say.
That's like the Toronto Maple Leafs here in hockey. That's the same shit. They've been trying to win another Stanley Cup for like 70 years here. So, or maybe 60. Sorry, I may have that wrong. But
we got the Blue Jackets here in Ohio. They'll get it. They'll get it one of these years.
One day. It makes me laugh here in Toronto because there are a lot of diehard hockey fans. It's a hockey country.
Yes. Yep.
But here in Toronto especially, they won a few Stanley Cups back in the 50s and 60s. That was the last time I think they won. And it's kind of like that with the Blue Jays too. The Blue Jays won in the 90s and they haven't won since. But every single year, like, all of their hopes rest on this poor hockey team. They just can't get the job done. It doesn't matter what they do. Doesn't matter how hard they try.
Yep.
But one day, next year.
One of these years, OnePlus will overtake everyone.
We hope.
Okay, maybe not, but
now one thing that caught my attention at MWC was a kind of an interesting one. It was an app, and apps are not usually showcased at MWC very often. But I wanted to just quickly give a shout out to Wisp. So to make this very simple, Wisp is an app that uses assistive voice technology. For people to speak clearly, I guess is the best way to put it. So what it does is it uses AI technology and their calling app and converts people that have vocal cord impairment, speech impairments, etc., and essentially cleans up their voice so that they can clearly communicate over the phone. And I think that's a very interesting thing to be showcased at MWC, because this is a lifestyle product that actually could have quite the impact on how the world is how it could change the world. And if we're talking about MWC and how these products will change our everyday life, this is a pretty big app release that could potentially have a far-ranging kind of impact on certain groups of society. And again, this is a brand new app. It's a brand new concept. It is a real app. It's in existence now. It's not fake, or it's not coming. It's real. It's not a prototype. Really interesting concept.
Yeah.
And again, it's rare to see something like this at MWC. We don't see a lot of app-based stuff, but what a cool idea. Here is a company that's trying to make a tech product that actually improves our communication and communication for certain groups of people. That's what MWC is supposed to be like. Instead of just, hey, here's a phone, here's a tablet, here's a new watch. Let's try to get some more of this.
It's good to show different sides of technology, not just let's outdo everyone and do the best of the best. I know, at least for me, and I can't speak for you, but I like the let's outdo. I like the new flashy stuff, but it's good to see other things out there too, for sure.
Now, I will just say this much: I know Wisp is trying to make this a very grounded product, thing, but I don't know. I won't show it, but if you get an opportunity, have a look at their promo video. So,
oh no,
and I'm not even going to pull it up on screen, but I'll let you guys look into that one. But just watch their promo video at some point. I just feel like they could have used maybe a little bit better of a candidate for this particular app. But more on that to come. Actually, you know what? Hang on a second. Let's show it. Let's do this.
I can only imagine what it is.
Hang on. So this is the promotional video that they used for MWC. Hang on one second. Oh, no, that's not the right tab. Hang on.
No, that's a great looking app right there.
So here is the promotional video for the Wisp app.
Oh my God, you had to do it. I mean, oh yeah, this is definitely the. Yep, that's it.
That's it.
You can hear his voice very
I
clear.
know. Yeah, so you can hear the screaming and everything.
And she could hear it because she used the Wisp app. Correct.
And he's going to need the Wisp app after this.
He's going to need a lot more than Wisp app. And so he hit his head so hard he started seeing things. See?
Yeah.
And had he used the Wisp app, he wouldn't have had to worry about that.
Exactly. And I think...
you're lucky I didn't pull up the Rickroll.
I know.
Because I almost did.
I was waiting for it. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk big phone releases. So let's start with Xiaomi.
No, not Xiaomi.
No?
You got to start with the global release of the Honor Magic 6 Pro.
Okay, let's talk.
Because I heard a little bird told me that someone that I may kind of know actually has one. And it's not me. I know myself, but it's not me. I will
pull it out. Let's have a look at...
don't pull it out. Whoa.
Oh, sorry. No,
PG
not that.
here.
Not that. Let's talk... Let's just pull up a photo of the Magic 6 Pro here so we can see what we're talking about.
Can I ask you a question when you pull this picture? Let's get it pulled up first.
Yeah.
What do you think of the look of that camera or that phone?
I don't know.
I actually like it. I actually like it.
I don't mind it. I
like it better than last year's. I like it better than last year's.
I loved the design of last year's. And I had the black version, that glossy piano black version. Mm-hmm. I know people hate. Yeah. I fucking loved the look of that thing. This seems a bit more industrial, I guess is maybe the term I would use. Like a little bit more robust and like they tried to flash it up.
Yes. Yep.
I'll just let me.
Anybody who buys this thing and has it in their hand is definitely lost a few marbles.
Okay, so here is. Here is the version I have.
You guys are looking here. This thing
right there.
This is the future 2024 phone of the year. Right here. I'm going to call it right now.
So, both you and I loved the Magic 5 Pro.
Mm-hmm.
And I've only had it for 24 hours or so, like maybe 42 days, day and a half. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
But so far, it's been as good of an experience as the last one, so the Magic 5 Pro. You do notice some things about it. So the first thing you notice is that it is very speedy, like with the Snapdragon Gen 3.
I bet the battery is freaking killer.
Well, I'll get to the battery in a second. So
the
screen is very bright, very...
Can I ask a question about the screen?
Yes.
Is it only 1080p?
No.
I swear to God, I heard someone say that the reason why the Honor gets such high battery life is because it only maxes out at 1080p.
So the maximum display size, or whatever you call it.
He's actively looking for it, folks.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to find it right here. Screen resolution, the high setting is 2800 by 1280.
Okay, so it's definitely 2K-ish.
It's definitely, Okay. So, I mean, it's a very, very nice screen. I mean, I don't know if you can see, like, that's just in this shitty lighting.
Before you go into details of what you've experienced so far, so I asked you a couple times. You never really answered it. So we live here. We live in North America. Me and Darren, and we had he imported this. You're already. So what's your service like? It's hard to see.
Hang on. So I'm in. It's right. I don't know if it's going to capture it on camera, but I'm in. Oh, hang on. Of course, trying to do this live, people, live. So I'm in the basement right now of my home, and I've got full Wi-Fi and mostly full 5G service.
So if you don't mind me asking, who's your provider where you're at?
So I use Rogers in Canada, which is one of the major providers. Okay. I literally had no issues whatsoever. Now, I did have some issues on the Magic 5 Pro, and I will just say the 5G worked, but I feel like it was a bit, on the Magic 5 Pro, it was a bit hit and miss.
Okay.
Have not had that experience here.
Wi-Fi calling?
I haven't even checked. I don't even know.
No, the reason why here in the US, if it doesn't have VoLTE, like voice over LTE, or Wi-Fi calling, AT&T is going to automatically deny you. So if you're AT&T, it's not going to work. T-Mobile's usually pretty lenient, and I use Google Fi now, which is T-Mobile. But man, Google Fi is very feisty when you switch SIMs into different phones,
Right.
but it usually works. But I've had a couple issues here and there, so I'm going to try my remaining AT&T SIM in it and see what works. And not that I have one, if I ever get one.
It doesn't appear to have that, but that's not surprising because
No.
like here, if it's not sold by the company, you don't get like the
Right.
primo features. But I mean, I'll be honest with you, like it is dual SIM 5G.
Wow.
So, I mean, you could easily, quite handily have another SIM for another carrier and use it in that similar phone, and it would be probably fine. But listen, I'll be honest with you, like design-wise, it is very pretty. It's very nice. And, you know, you and I both like the curved 4-quarter display situation.
100%.
Face Unlock is phenomenal on this thing.
Okay.
I mean, like iPhone level good. So I messaged you yesterday about this. Absolutely no issues signing into everything. Banking apps work, social media accounts work.
And the reason why I asked you that yesterday is because I think the Honor Magic 5 Pro had a time of flight sensor in the front too.
Yes.
But like my banking app didn't support it. And most of my financial stuff did not support it. They only supported the fingerprint. Now it's kind of like with the Google Pixel 8 Pro. Now they have a more advanced facial.
Yes.
Everything supports it, but my banking app.
Right. So maybe it's just your bank, brother. Maybe it's time for a new bank.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Yeah. So I mean, I have a couple of different bank accounts with different banks. They both worked. Both with the facial biometrics, not fingerprint.
Correct.
So from all accounts, it's very like even unlocking. I don't know if I can do this live, but so that's currently locked. Turn unlocked. Locked.
So
unlocked.
So you have to swipe up once it's unlocked.
No. Or yeah, sorry, you can set it so it doesn't do that.
I would do that. I don't like to swipe up or unlock. Yeah.
So, but very reliable, very fast.
Nice.
Battery wise, so here's my battery experience. So I got this.
This got a graphene battery, right? Or silicon graphene?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Some fancy 5400 monster.
That's a huge battery for that small phone. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, surprisingly, not much. Like the weight doesn't feel any different than last year. In fact, it feels a little lighter.
It's probably because of the new battery technology, I would assume. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got this yesterday morning at about 10 a.m.
Rub it in. Yep.
Sorry, Jason. I only charged it today at 4:30 p.m. So I used it all day yesterday, setting everything up, most of the evening, all day at work today. And then I got home early afternoon, so probably about 3:30, had a coffee, checked some more social media, and then I was at about 10%. Now, I would consider that to be pretty good for a first charge.
And because your first initial use was setting everything up, which eats a lot of battery, but I think, and I can't speak for all phones, but like Samsung, like the Watch 6, I was so disappointed the first week I had it because it barely sucked. Now, like I'll put it on the charger before I go take a shower.
Yeah.
Take it off. I'll go to bed at 80%, and it'll use 4% overnight.
Yeah,
so so I'm wondering if this will be the same thing. It'll use, it'll learn, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, considering that was the first charge, I just charged it up before we went on the air, and I mean, right now I've used it a little bit, but it's at 94%.
Wow.
And
what's the speed of wireless charging? Do you remember what it said?
Like 80 watts, maybe?
You have to buy a special charger, I'm sure.
No, like I've been using a 67 watt charger that I have here, like a standard one.
I'm talking about wireless.
Wireless. Hang on, let me double check. I'm not 100% sure.
You think I'd know all this, but
I know. It is 66 watt wireless charging and 80 watt wired charging.
I didn't remember seeing a wireless charger that does 66 watts on their website, though. I wonder if that's only a Chinese one.
I don't know. I mean, I think any 66 watt charger would work, no? Maybe the OnePlus one, isn't that 67?
That's 50.
Or 50? But I mean, even 50 watt wireless charging, Jesus Christ, you charge.
Yeah, what pissed me off about the OnePlus wireless charger? It was 50 watts. It came with the charger and the cable.
Yeah, brick. Yeah.
So you have to get the 50 watt charging. You have to have a 65 watt charger. Thank God I have one of those GAN chargers that the 65 watts. And I'll tell you, 50 watt wireless charging. I don't have the phone. I don't have the phone anymore. But when I did have the phone, man, that thing charged like.
Yeah.
I mean, I put it down and it felt like 2 minutes. It was done.
Well, I'm actually
Crazy.
like when I did charge this one up, I was actually quite surprised at how fast it charged up. Like again, I'm only using a 67-watt charger, so that's a little
That's
less
still
than,
pretty fast.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not 80, but 67
No.
watts charged this up pretty damn fast. And I mean, it was also being used.
Let me
at
see
the
the
time.
official case you got with that too.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
You got
So
it's
this
black,
is-
right?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
got
it
a
has-
kickstand. Okay.
And it has a kickstand at the bottom here. I don't know if I can even open it. Hang on a second.
I'm jealous right now.
I know, sorry, but hey, oh god,
I lose a phone and you gain a phone.
There you go.
How appropriate is that?
Well, I mean, so here's the thing. The case is a little less nice than the one that came with the Magic 5 Pro. I don't know if you've ever had the leather
I did.
one.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I like this one has frosted. I don't know if you can see that frosted bottom and a frosted top. It looks okay. I mean, it looks fine. The other one wrapped around completely. It was a full like leather.
With a black phone like that, I'd probably buy just a black case or the official case.
Yeah.
But the green one looks like it has like a leather feel.
Yes.
And I think the case they had with that was a green case. I always opt. I know you hate this, but the TPU clear case because I want to show off the damn color I got on my phone.
Okay, here is the one thing that pissed me off.
Oh, here we go.
No case in the box.
Yeah, and no brick.
No brick. No brick.
Did the Honor 5 come with a brick? I can't remember. See,
did.
what the hell, Honor?
Yeah,
They're gonna lose us.
I mean, fuck you get rid of a case and the charger
And charge more.
Yeah. And you're asking for more. That's a bit of a cock punch. I'm not going to lie. That kind of
but Samsung, Google.
Yeah.
Not OnePlus. Hey, OnePlus is hanging on.
Listen, OnePlus, they earned so much respect from me for that reason.
Well, I had respect for I used to have respect for them,
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day, Magic 6 Pro, it looks like it's going to be a pretty good thing, but I was just curious. What if we did a zoom test quickly live? Okay, so I don't know if you can see that picture on my wall. So I'm going to go in at 5.
Oh, a zoom. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay. Holy
cow. There is 5. Now I'm going to just pull out. So I'm going to go to 10. And I'm going to take a photo of...
Is it pretty steady when you're zooming in that much?
It locks in once you get like
Samsung kind of does.
Yeah. So I'm going to take... Okay, so this is...
It's hard to say because our camera's only 720p. Wow, yeah.
A 10 times photo. Now remember, there's no 10 times lens on this thing.
It's 2.5.
It's 180 megapixel, 2.5 times optical zoom.
That's crazy.
Which again, and I said to you before we went on air, I find it better than the S24 Ultra. I just do. It's cleaner, less noise.
Well, this is all I got. Okay.
I know that's all you got. Sorry. But when you have the Vivo X100 Pro coming,
I didn't say anything. What are you talking about?
It's impressive.
Vivo X100 Pro and the Honor Magic. I think that'd be a very good comparison.
Yes.
My only fear with both those two phones being that they're global and importing them into the U.S., North America, you seem to work. The Magic 5 worked really well, but there was a few things that didn't work.
Yeah,
and it didn't really hamper the experience, but it just makes it that much more worrisome, I guess. I don't know.
Well, look, if you weren't interested in the Magic 6 Pro, the only other one that caught my attention at MWC was the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Now, I almost feel like Xiaomi just went, fuck it. Let's throw everything we've got at this phone.
And the accessory kit, too.
They just went, we're going to fucking try to capture the market.
They have what the kids would say. They went ham.
Now, this is an absolute spec monster. Like
it is.
4 50 megapixel cameras. It's the new generation Sony Lydia sensor. Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, 90 watt fast charging.
Jesus.
And it's going global.
Oh, hold back up.
Yeah.
So Xiaomi does not use whatever they used to use for their software, which I grew to hate.
OS. Yes.
I haven't used HyperOS.
Well, nor have I. Here's the thing, right? So I don't know. Like, I mean, from what I've seen from other people's experience, it looks promising. But you never know, right? I mean, I've used other Xiaomi phones before where they've had the previous software, and I found it to be cluttered.
Yes,
It
that's why I
reminded
didn't like
me
it. Too Apple-esque for me.
Yeah, but I mean, this is just photos from this, but I mean, look at the specs on the cameras. Like I think is it dual 1-inch sensors? Did I read that right? I think
I didn't look too much into this because I didn't think it was going global, and I'm not a huge fan of their software, but now you're saying it's coming global.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? Like currently here in Canada, you could pick this up for about $1,750, $1,800, which is a lot of money.
Not the global version, though, obviously.
The global version, yes.
Is the global version already available?
It's within, I think it's pre-order, so it's 15 days is the expected delivery date. So you would have it by the middle to the end of the month.
So when you say global, like Europe, Germany,
UK, Malaysia, all those other places they consider global.
Well,
right?
As soon as we wrap up here, I'm going to be looking at some stuff.
Well, so here's the thing with this Leica Pro Kit. Let me just show you something that I got today.
Oh, here we go. You got it already, don't you?
No, I don't have it. So iPhones are known for having MagSafe capability, right? So if you know, here's an iPhone in my hand right now. But I got this today.
What is it?
A MagSafe Bluetooth shutter button.
Oh, I've seen those. Yeah.
Right? Now, I use a MagSafe on my Pixel. So having this to work with both an iPhone and a Pixel device and have that physical grip and shutter button so you can actually use it that way, that's an impressive feature that I would like to have on other phones.
It helps you take more steady pictures too because you have more of a grip.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I understand that's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but that's exactly what the Leica Pro Kit is. It's a case/Bluetooth shutter button. Again, it's more. I'm assuming the camera is going to be way better than on the iPhone, but
no, if it ain't Apple, it ain't shit.
Shit. Well, that's exactly right.
Come on.
But it is an iPhone accessory. It's a MagSafe accessory, so it means you can use it on other devices. But I honestly feel like Xiaomi. This is how I see the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. This is Xiaomi going, if we don't do this now, we're never going to break the North American market. Let's just throw everything we've got into it and see what happens.
I don't know. Do you think they'll ever break into the North American market? I don't think they will.
I don't know. If this camera gets reviewed really, really well, which I imagine it will, like top the DxO mark kind of stuff. If it manages to capture that, I don't know, man. They might be onto something. Like it potentially, like it's a good looking phone, comes with a shit ton of accessories. It's very, very future proof. I don't know. It maybe that's the play. Maybe. I don't know, man. Like it's either gonna be a hit or miss situation, right? You never know if it's gonna.
But this phone doesn't excite me. You know what excites me? The HMD Fusion.
The Barbie phone, you mean?
No, not the Barbie phone. Their modular phone.
Oh, yes, that's right. I forgot about that one. Sorry.
The Xiaomi 14 Ultra is available to order globally, but not in the U.S. as of February 25th, 2024. And it costs $1,499 pounds, maybe?
Yes.
Which is $1,600.
Yes.
Holy crap.
Now,
Anyways.
I'll show you like what I mean here, because they have on right here. So this is a pre-order.
Well, you've been watching this for a while?
No, I just had it open, and I just for shit.
$1,700?
Yeah, it's not cheap.
So I don't understand how you can buy the global version from PDA Plaza, but Xiaomi's website doesn't even sell it.
Well, I think it's coming out within the month. That's what I would think, right? Like it's being released in other parts of the world this month. And it technically is the global version because it comes with Google Play services. And they're decluttered like software, I guess. But yeah, what you're looking at right now on screen is the HMD Fusion. While Tuna investigates the Xiaomi 14 Ultra.
I'm over here like trying to investigate who I can get this for this much.
Yeah. But HMD came out with a modular future, aka the Motorola Z series follow-up, I guess. adding accessories to a smartphone seems like a good idea.
Yeah,
I like the grip. The grip is pretty interesting, man. And
man, I need to stop. I need to stop.
Yeah, you need to stop because you end up buying that thing.
Well, I'm on the UK website and it's £12.99. Obviously, 16 gig, 512. I know we're talking about the HDMI guy, but you get a $50 coupon and a reward of 20% off.
Somewhere I think I saw too that were offering headphones or something with it. I forget where I saw
let's see. It says purchase from here. Get the Xiaomi Pad and Xiaomi 14 Ultra Professional kit for free.
Oh,
holy shit!
Yes.
And you can finance it. $150 trade-in. I can't do that. You get 3 months of YouTube Premium.
Wow, that's impressive.
Everyone gives you that. Yeah. It says pre-sale February 25th to March 18th. Ships on March 19th.
So yeah, it'd be within the month.
I only have one kidney left. I can't live anymore without a kidney.
I told you, all of mine are gone. I just gave mine away. It's just easier.
I'm telling you, CES did not get me this excited about phones.
No. But I mean, look, MWC is kind of interesting because we've seen all the big Asian phone releases. Like we've got the Xiaomi.
And that's what I was going to say. CES is more North American based. Most of us here. MWC encapsulates everybody in the world, and that's what I like about it. Huawei wasn't there, which for obvious reasons, but Huawei's got some stuff on the cusp too that looks like it's gonna revolutionary. I'm so tired of technology. I'm getting a headache just thinking about it.
I'm just gonna buy that Punkt phone and sell all my shit and just be done with.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm sure. I wonder if the camera is going to be good on the Punkt phone. I almost guarantee it's not going to be. No, but
it won't be.
But I don't think people that buy that phone are buying it for the camera in their defense. So, there's always that too, right? So,
yeah.
But anyway, that actually brings us to the end of our podcast for today.
And we didn't even scratch the surface of MWC.
I know. I mean, other products, if you want to check them out, worth taking a look at, the Oppo Air Glass 3, Galaxy Ring. But I mean, no one's buying a Samsung Galaxy Ring. Let's be honest. That's just going to be another terrible battery.
Well, Apple's apparently working on one now too. Can't be left out.
Apple's working on AI stuff too, from what all accounts is. So
yeah, just like their Siri is the greatest assistant. I don't have any much faith in that.
I told you, Siri 2.0 is going to be fucking awesome. I thought it was going to be this year, but
Gemini had a setback with the racial stuff. But I'm telling you, Gemini is not bad at all.
No, yeah, it's pretty impressive. The more I use it, the more I actually like it. Better than like the Chat GPTs and the other things of the world.
It's more friendly. But anyways.
Yeah. On that note, thank you very much for everyone that's listened in today. And we'll catch this post-live broadcast. And, we value everybody. Please hit that like, subscribe button. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and hopefully very soon we will be able to share with you our very own merch, which we have been talking about for a while. Right here. If it ain't iPhone, it ain't shit.
And you saw our thumbnail. You want a picture of tech disruptors worldwide, we could put our faces right on that shirt.
Put that right on the back there for you. That's exactly right. Yes.
But fellas, you better watch out. You may get a lot of attention.
It is, and that's exactly right. So listen, stay tuned, I guess is the way to put it. And we will see what comes out of it. But thank you very much for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, guys.